because I used to have to hand paint all these strands of spit, and I'm so excited. Everything, because I love making things wet and slimy, and I'm so excited. There's me, there's Dean, and there's a rotted chest full of mushrooms. If that sounds like a good time to you, like it does to me, go ahead and show us with a like, and if you're new here, why not subscribe? Put out 5 new videos every week. Now, let's take a look at all of this.
Hey gang, you're tuned into Photoshop with Abbey and Dean, and today we'll be chatting about the techniques Abbey used to create this dark surrealist piece. So get comfy, grab a coffee, and enjoy the show. Hey Abbey, how's it going today?
Hello.
So what are we looking at here? What's going on screen? Tell us a bit about this piece.
So right away, I'll have to do a little disclaimer that you're about to see a huge, technically what was 2 hours of trial and error for this is the second time I've tried to do these like fleshy lump bits.
Okay, yep.
And it didn't turn out anything like I had hoped. So
as is usually the case with Photoshop work.
Yeah, oftentimes, unfortunately.
So what was you going for? What, is this personal work? Is it a commercial piece? Tell me more about what this was for.
It was made strictly for the speed art purposes, which I am starting to embrace much more, because usually I can take, you know, as long as I want. So 10, 12, 20 hours. Yep. But for my speed arts, I give myself a 6-hour deadline. I get 6 hours, and at the 6-hour mark I have to do whatever final touches I can squeeze out, and then I'm done. So this was 6 hours, and I wanted originally for the cavity to be full of like flesh itself. It's really hard to describe, but I knew in the back of my head that the worms that end up coming up, they were plan B. So
okay, so from what I gather, you're in a similar camp to I am. You're one of those people that takes ages. Because it can get a little bit intimidating when you see people like Christian Benteland just hammer out a world-class piece in under 50 minutes. I'm not one of those people. I'm one of the slow dinosaurs of photo manipulation, and I'm gathering you're kind of the same.
Yeah, when I look at this, when I look at the finished piece, I'm like, there's at least another 4 hours for me to be happy with it. Before I post it anywhere like my portfolio or anything like that, I'd have to work a good another 4 hours, which I might end up doing, because I was happy with the end piece. Yeah,
I hear you. It's good for pushing a very kind of unique aesthetic, but when it comes to commercial work where you've got to be fast, I would say it's probably not the best style to have, and that includes me as well.
No, I'm very much who you hire if you want a good couple weeks of back and forth and really intense
obsession
collaboration. Yes.
Okay, so let's talk a bit about what's going on screen. You're using so what's that, a multiply, and you have your layer stack on the left, which is complete sorcery, by the way. We should really disown you for that. But so you're painting, from the other videos I gather you have a Cintiq. You're painting directly onto the Cintiq screen, that correct?
Yes. But I do have a secondary screen, so sometimes I do use my Cintiq as kind of almost like a normal Intuos, because I'll start painting on it, but look at my secondary screen.
Okay. That's way too futuristic for me. The Cintiq I can get my head around for now. I've seen you use these techniques a fair bit now. You've got multiply. What's the multiply layer for?
So multiply, I have one pretty steadfast rule. If you're painting shadows, use multiply. A lot of people lean on soft light, and soft light is it's okay. Overlay is a big no-no for shadows, but multiply is shadows is multiply. So this PSD is basically 87 multiply layers, because it's all shading.
Okay, for what are you using for those kind of highlights and catch lights at the edges that are facing the light source? Are they soft light and overlay?
Most of the high points is actually just the original skin shining through that I'm erasing the shadows from. Yeah, at the end.
No, that's unique. I did not ever think to do that, ever.
For the most part. Once at the end, I start adding, like, the really high bits, and I think that's a color dodge layer. For highlights, it's not I'm not as picky. It can be overlay, it can be soft light, it can be color
Yep.
dodge, it can be screen. For highlights, it doesn't really matter. It could be a normal layer, just a layer set to normal. Shadows is where you wanna.
No, it looks like you're using loads of different exotic and fancy brushes here. Can you tell me a bit about these little brushes that are coming up on screen?
Absolutely, because there's actually only one brush pack for the most part that I'm using here.
Is this a free or premium brush pack? Can the viewers today get their hands on this?
Absolutely, it is premium, but it's like $3, and it's amazing. I can't think of the artist's name. We'll definitely link it down below. And like I said, it's $3, and it's one of the best brush packs I've ever.
Okay, so
bought.
me personally, because I'm going to be picking up the Cintiq this year, I've had a Cintiq in a box for 2 years, sitting in the corner of the room, and this is the year that I'm going to start using it. So I definitely want that brush pack. I'll put a link in the description for all you guys watching today. So if you want it, you can grab it. No affiliate link. We're just sharing it because it's awesome. Okay, so how many brushes roughly are in this pack? Is it just a...
It's a good, let me think, 5, 10, because I know I do rows of 5, so I think it's a good 15 to 20 to 25 brushes.
Yep.
Now that I'm thinking about it, it might be a little bit more. It might be like $5, because there's a second brush pack I end up using at the end that is $3 that I'll also link down below. We'll talk about it when it comes up, but I think it's a good 25 brushes, and it's magic.
No,
if you want to do this,
there can be a problem with loads of brushes in that you can get decision fatigue. And when you have too many options, you stop dead and you don't move anywhere because there's so many. Have you ever had that problem?
I am very picky about my brushes in terms of so my default brush pack has been cultivated over years and years. And at the end of the day, I almost always just use the, sorry if anyone can hear noises, it's a garbage truck.
That's okay.
But I pretty much only use the default round brushes for the most part, and everything else is pretty one-off.
Okay. Yeah, I remember from the live session you said that fancy brushes that are sold as the solution to all your problems, they're not a quick fix. It's not the brushes where the magic happens. It's the imagination, it's the idea, and 9 out of 10 tasks you can achieve with either a soft edge or hard edge brush. And I thought that was really good insight.
Absolutely. Yeah, and any pure digital painter will tell you that too, because it just rings so true.
You have people like Kieran Bagji, Kieran in Digital, and he's using an ancient version of Adobe Photoshop, and he's currently producing work that is on par with Dave McKean. Dave McKean during his glory years, and it's just so ridiculously good. It's not always about the kit, you can achieve a lot with not that much at all, really. But I am looking at these brushes thinking, wow, these do look cool.
Yeah, and they take a lot of trial and error. You're gonna get them and be like, I don't know how to use these, and you'll notice that I stamp things, I erase it, stamp things, erase it. It's a lot of that, and that's how the artist uses them as well.
These are really cool processes.
Oh yeah. Also, the baby's about to come up. This right side rib ends up looking like a weird little baby, and it's not supposed to, but you'll start seeing it, and I love it.
See,
it looks like
I think your artwork should be displayed in a different way, because there's so many secrets hidden. A single Instagram post or a Facebook post or a YouTube video just doesn't do the details justice. And I think you need to pioneer a new way for your work to be displayed, as in a dedicated website where the viewer can explore with a pan tool, and where it's dynamic and interactive. Maybe something you could think about over the next 24 months.
Yeah, I absolutely, in my portfolio, I put up as large an image as I can with as many details as I can. I know a lot of people get a little, especially digital artists, oh, they don't want people to steal your work. And I'm
no, it's only amateurs that worry about that. It's only amateurs that ever worry about that.
Absolutely.
What's the benefits of rotating? You always rotate it. Is that so the pen's at a better angle when you're doing the illustration work?
Yes, the same way, like, once you start, you because you're a mouse user, you wouldn't
Yeah, I'm
rotate
a
too much.
heathen.
Anyone who uses once you start using a pen, it just comes natural.
Okay.
It's like when you're drawing and you'd rotate the paper.
So for
It's the same.
me and for the audience, can you say how you exactly what you do to rotate like that?
I think it's R is the default hotkey, but I
Yep.
use the Cintiq. I use the 24-inch Cintiq Pro. It comes with a little fancy remote, so that's a hotkey.
And
I just press.
that how long have you had that Cintiq for?
Ooh, wow, January of last year, I guess, 2020.
And
Wow.
what impact has having that Cintiq had on your workflow?
Oh.
How's it changed things for you professionally, creatively?
Tons, because especially, I mean, in both, where I feel like because I would stop because I'd be frustrated and I would just be like, I don't want to do it, because I couldn't get the details that I wanted, or I didn't have the patience to get the details I wanted, because I would just think about it and I would just get.
And would you say the process is more freeform and organic and flows a lot more?
Instantly, because I'm not a digital painter, and I always say that, and even it was instant, where as someone who can't draw, I could feel like how much more natural it is to draw on the thing you're actually looking
Oh,
at
absolutely,
versus.
yeah.
Some people prefer the Intuos though. Like I've known people who have had a Cintiq and got rid of it to go back to their
Okay.
Intuos.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's all preference. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
don't feel like
I'm getting
you-
progressively more excited about getting mine going and joining in with the cool kids. That model that you have, is that a new model or is it an older model that you got on a good deal, or is it, you know?
It's their newest one. I did buy it refurbished to get a good like $600 off or something. They're so expensive, and I have a love-hate relationship with it. Like, I'm definitely
What's the
not.
bad? Tell us the bad sides. I want to know what the bad sides to it. Give us the warts and all. Excuse the pun.
The price. I don't think the price ratio is incredibly amazing.
So
Just 'cause
what
I
does
know
that
a lot
mean?
about.
Too expensive for what it is?
Yes, but unfortunately, there's no better alternative that's comparable and cheaper. I'm really interested in like Huon. I believe that.
Okay, so we got price. Any other bad sides?
You need, if you're going to get a Cintiq,
Yep.
you need to get an arm. I do not have an arm, and I regret it every day.
And
that
why
I
do you
don't
regret
buy
it?
an
What's the problem with not having an arm?
arm. My back is broken
Oh no.
after months of using it, because that's the second thing with the Cintiq is they sell you this $2,000 almost thing, and then they give you two, and it has little stands that come out the back that they know is unusable, and then they charge you $400 or $500 for an arm.
They'll
that
get
is
you the
proprietary.
upsell.
Yeah, proprietary to the Cintiq, and I don't want this to turn into like an I hate Cintiq thing.
No,
'cause, like,
it's good.
obviously
It's good that we're honest with this.
I
That's the
have
whole
so much
point.
to
We got to be honest. We're sharing our experiences with the audience and hopefully upping their game in the process. I'm a learner. I'm learning on this call. Before we carry on bashing the Cintiq, can I just ask the brush tool that you was using just then? I noticed the flow was set to 11%. Can you tell me a bit about the flow, please, and why you have it at such a low setting?
Yeah, so flow allows you to build things up slowly, and this is particularly useful with light and shadows. So in any of my tutorials, you'll always hear me say the same thing: lower the flow rate so you can
Yep.
build blah 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 up slowly. I've been a low flow rate user for a few
Sounds
years
like a
now.
rapper. Low flow rate. Okay, yeah.
Phrase. But yeah, so it's a huge game changer, and it really helps you get to be very painterly without being good at painting. Also,
Yeah.
if you have a mouse, it's still applicable, because if you have a mouse, turn it down to like 1 to 5%, because
Wow.
a mouse will lay down things even heavier. Where if you have a pen and you have that pen pressure, you can bring it down to maybe 10 to 15.
Yeah,
and
you've
still
got
get
that
very
dynamic pressure sensitivity.
but it's for both pen and mouse users.
Oh
Flow
wow.
rate is amazing.
All right, that's cool. A lot of let's just see, adjustment layer action go. It's weird looking to the left and seeing the layer stack there. I'm sorry, but I'm struggling to adjust to that. What adjustment layers have been put in place for this particular piece?
Oh, all of them. I've zero for the color correction. I couldn't tell you. I bet it's a bunch of color lookup layers, like always. For
Why can you just explain color lookup? Why I don't think I've ever used color lookup.
So there's something I found out some years ago, and I know they have to do with LUT files, which is usually a color grade things for videos. So people who do a lot of video editing will know more about it.
Yep.
But they're Photoshop, and they're just kind of almost like pre-made.
I think I know. Yep, I understand what it is now. Yeah, it took me a moment. It's the LUTs, L-U-T-S.
Yes, the LUTs. Yes, L-U-T-S is
so
their,
do you use them a lot?
Every single image has probably like 5 to 20 LUTs on the top, and other ones. There's a lot of
Can we please have a dedicated tutorial? Because I would like to know more about this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
If you combine LUTs, selective color, and blend if.
How about a LUTs explained video as part of your series? I think that would be a good shout. What do you think?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that one.
I never hear anyone talk about them, and I know they're like a video editing thing, and I don't want to come off like dumb.
It's a perfect opportunity to enlighten us all, and particularly heathens like me that has used the same free tools for 20 years and never evolved. Yeah, you need to educate the masses, Isparza.
Yeah, color lookup's the game
So this
changer.
is really cool, the way that these kind of dark maggots are interacting. You're not using the pen tool, but it looks incredibly sharp. It's really, really, really sharp. The full view doesn't do this justice. You're going to have to release this in segments. So when you do your social promo for this piece, don't just do the whole piece. You do one piece that's just the head, one piece that's just the torso, and you will quadruple engagement, I promise you.
Absolutely. If anyone is ever curious about details, I almost always have anything that ends up being good enough to be posted to my website always has a good
the War and Pestilence piece that you did needed to be released as 4 separate images, and I'd say this one is 2 images in one. When you do the promo for this, when you get it out into the world on your own platforms, I really believe that this should be a 2 or 3 parter, Abby.
Yeah, for sure.
Because the story is in the details. It really is. This is mind-blowing stuff.
Yeah, and that's where I spend all my time. So it is kind of a shame sometimes when I get lazy and I'm like, oh, I'll just throw it up. But yeah, a lot of the details end up getting lost.
Because people, they're scrolling fast. They say, oh yeah, that's kind of cool. But if they could see what was going on, what was really going on the piece, yeah, the engagement would be wild for this. But that's really cool. Any other tips or techniques that I haven't asked about that you think that maybe the audience would like to know today? Before we get into that, I just wanted to say, can I get the model of your Cintiq so I can put that in the description as well to let the guys know exactly what you're using?
Yes, it is the Cintiq 24-inch Pro.
I'll be sure to put a link for that in the description. And are there any other little hacks, tips, techniques, or anything to do with the planning or the artistic or the composition?
No, but I will shout out this brush set that I'm using here, which is a bunch of like
okay, this is really cool. This is the kind of thing I would use for my horror work. Yeah. Tell me more about this. What is this?
This brush set is this is the one that I literally just bought it a couple days ago. It's $3 on ArtStation. We'll link it down below, and it's literally just spit strands, and it has saved me because I used to have to hand paint all these strands of spit, and I'm so excited. Everything, because I love making things wet and slimy, and I'm so excited.
Oh, that's amazing. Okay, so we're nearing the end of this one now. Thanks so much for sharing your insights with us today, Abby. Would you like to do the closeout?
Yes. So, like if you like, subscribe if you really like, and let me know what you'd like to see next, and especially let us know if you like this format, because I really enjoyed doing it.
That's brilliant. Thanks, Abby. See you later.